This expressions tutorial will describe the steps you need to follow to activate graphics, alarms, and calculated values in a runtime environment. Expressions allow elements of your control system to dynamically respond to events within your process. Expressions are a unique and important part of the Nucleus platform. As such, we have an entire documentation section on expressions within the Help Center. Please be sure to read this section thoroughly before you start a project. To begin this tutorial, we will open the sample screen in Display Creator. Stand by as we show you all the methods you can use to view the expressions on a selected icon. Finally, the fastest method to access the expressions is to select the F2 function key on your keyboard. The F3 function key is used to show controls assigned to your icons, but we'll explore this feature in a future video. Using these two function keys allow quick access to expressions and commands. Also note, the shortcut bar allows you to copy the current expression from the selected icon and paste it into another icon. This is useful to quickly copy the structure of expressions into another icon. Of course, you may need to modify the expression slightly after the paste operation to use different indications in the target icon. Okay, so let's get to the heart of expressions and how they work. On the left side of the sample screen, locate the Start button. Then double-click on it to display the properties of this icon. As you can see, the graphic type of this icon is a button, and the inside fill color property is set to light gray. Any color you select within the property window will be the default color of the icon. This default state is an important concept. All properties represent the state of the icon if no expressions are attached or no expressions result to true. For now, let's go ahead, close the property window, and notice that the shortcut button's at the top of the screen. The VI button for View Indication Expressions is green. This green color means the Start button icon you selected has expressions already defined. So let's see what expressions have already been entered for this icon. There is only one indication in the list. The source is sample, so this is an internal indication and not from a remote device. And from the name, we know it has a digital value of 1 or 0. So to verify this, you can double-click on the source column, select the sample source, and see the data type for this indication. In the second list, we have the expression rule. Don't confuse the highlighted one as the value of the indication above. This number is the expression index number that identifies the indication in the list above. This will become more obvious with more indications in the top list. If the digital indication has a value of 1 at runtime, then the expression becomes true and the colors will change as shown. We have chosen the fill color to be lime and the background color to be dark green. Also notice the visibility is checked so it won't disappear when the expression is true. And there is no rotation set. It will not flash, the text will not substitute to something else, and the text color of the button will remain black. Now let's close the expressions window and select the Stop button so we can view the expressions on the second icon. Please note that we have the same indication defined in this expression, but the expression rule is a little different. It contains the not symbol. The not condition is represented by the tilde symbol. The not 1 means that if the indication listed as index 1 is not true, or not a value of 1, then this expression is true. Therefore, the button will turn red. So we can expect that any time the listed indication is 0, the Stop button will remain red. And any time the indication is 1, the Start button will remain lime. To test this, let's run this screen in test mode. Go ahead and close the expression window and the property window and locate the Test On button on the shortcut bar. Then click on it. This action will ask you if you want to close and continue. As we follow the instructions, we now have the sample screen open in test mode. Please note this because the Test On button is green. Now locate the I/O button just to the right of the Test On button and click it. Move this floating window out of the way. In test mode, we can already see that the stop button is red. Click in the source column in the I/O window and select the sample source. Then locate the first digital indication that we saw in the expressions window for the start and stop buttons. To change the value, simply click in the values column. The button turns lime when the value is high. Click it again and the indication is set back to 0. The stop button turns red as expected. This test mode enables you to pre-check all of your digital expressions. You can't test analog values, calculated values, or alarms with this tester. If you want these more advanced conditions, you must run the HMI station and the simulator together with the communication servers not running. If you have communications active, it'll change indication states to value that conflict with your simulator, so please be aware of this. But this tester is a handy tool for testing expressions without starting any external applications. Now let's move the I/O window out of the way so we can see the elevator icon. Because this is a sample, the text above the elevator tells us how the expression is wired. If the digital indications 4 and 5 are set, or if just indication 6 is set, the door will open. However, if indication 7 is set, the door will be out of service, no matter what the other indication states are. So watch as we test these expressions. Now select the Test Off button so we can see how the elevator expressions were set up. Reopen the sample screen. Expressions will evaluate only until the first true expression occurs. So in the first expression rule, we are referencing indication digital 7. So placement of your expressions determines hierarchy. The higher the expression in the list, the more it takes precedence of those expressions below it. To better see the picture that will substitute when this expression is true, select the image within the expression rule. The highlighted image will be the replacement when digital 7 is high. In the second expression, this rule states that if digital 4 and 5 are high, or if digital 6 is high, then the expression will be true. In this case, the default icon is replaced with the open door image. This concludes the basic tutorial on expressions. The sample screen contains a number of predefined expressions that you can investigate and change if you wish to practice with this functionality.